So Paula is the founder of the Klayd. Welcome, Paula. You are a girl with a dream. So first things first, massive congratulations.
Thank
You
you.
just finished a pop-up at Liberty London. Unbelievable.
I know. I'm like sigh a lot now. I was
Like, what a way to start, you know? It's, to me, the most iconic, prestigious,
exactly.
beautiful, historical.
I mean,
Very-
it's Liberty London.
Exactly. It's Liberty London. And they're all about fabrics
I know.
and prints,
Quality,
quality, exactly.
story.
So I'm so curious.
Mhm.
Yeah, how does it feel?
It feels great. It's now that we are actually in our second year. I just can't believe it. It's just like even with the conversation with Liberty, it just take like perhaps a year, like ongoing conversation, and then finally we hit like the buttons like, okay, let's do it this year. And then I just couldn't believe it that they actually say yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just like, yes, they're really like trusted us basically to like having our brand complement
Yeah.
Liberty.
Yeah.
And I'm just so honored.
Honestly, I mean, it's such a huge validation, you know, to have someone like them back you up and want to have your product in the store.
Exactly.
It speaks loads about, I'm sure, you know, the quality, the craftsmanship, the integrity of the
Yeah.
brand. And we'll definitely talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
But let's rewind to the early days. So how did it all start?
I think it was started back in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I actually just resigned from my old job, which there's nothing to do with fashion, like nothing at all. And then I got pregnant. I decided to like, okay, let's just like take a break. And then after my son, 1 year old, I think he's about 1 year old, and I told my husband, I was like, do you know what? I just want to make a brand that is like specialized in body fitted basics, because I had an obsession with body fitted basics because it helped me with my insecurity as well. When I grew up in my own environment before, I feel like body fitted makes me like feel confident. And then ever since, I keep buying the same product over and over again, and I just realized perhaps it can be something, perhaps it can be, I can make something my own vibe and creating my own brand with body fitted basics. And then that time, my husband was just like, really? Do you think people wear it here? Because where I'm from, people are very conservative and like they're not wearing like too open, because it feels like a second skin, right? It's like tight. Where I'm from, people are like, that is not common basically. And my husband's just like, okay, well, if you want to try, let's do it. I'm like, okay, fine, but I don't have a fashion background. I don't have any connection whatsoever. I didn't even know the name of the fabric.
Yeah,
I
you don't even know
literally,
where
like,
to start.
I don't even know where to start, just the fabric. And like, you know, I just want it to look like clay, something that is like mold on your body and like second skin. I just look for that fabric, which I have absolutely no idea what I
So you had a vision, you had a clear
I had a
idea
clear
in your mind of what you wanted.
because I think all of the buying, I bought a lot of clothes before, and like it's all the same thing, body fitted. I bought from international brand, also from the local brand. And I feel like each buying I had like different frustration. I feel like the length is not right. I feel like the material should be like this, because when you see a product in the website, you have your own visualization, right? You're like, I think the product will be like this. And when you receive them, it's like disappointing.
Completely different.
Completely different.
Yeah.
And from there, I figure like, I'm just gonna make something out of my frustration and like my obsession towards body fitted basics, and I found my passion.
You did. And actually, I quoted one of your, I saw one of your quotes. You said, they said it was impossible, but here we are from Indonesia to the UK, just a girl with a crazy dream. Go for it. No dream is ever too big. And I really like this story because it's like no training in fashion, no traditional path, but you still went for it.
Yeah.
So were there, I guess it can be difficult, you know, in the early days. Were there people that tried to dissuade you?
I think I had quite a challenge because where I'm from, people got easily labeled as like bound to fail. As in, like, people will think that they know you from, I don't know, from the outside, and they will think that you can't do anything, basically. Like, you can't be someone else. Like, you basically, it's sometimes coming from inner circle, but also sometimes coming from like close friends that is like doubting you and said, who want to wear that? Like, it's only you. That kind of style is just you. Nobody wants to wear that. So those type of things that actually just doubted me sometimes. But I believe I'm not alone. Like, I feel like there's some other girls as well outside, whether outside country or like within the country that is like think like me, but didn't have the courage perhaps because we were drowned in like doubt and like not doing it. And by the time I feel like I mean, when I grew up, I got bullied a lot in school. It was not nice. I feel like it's just playing with my confidence. So I feel like I think I'm that girl. Like I could never achieve anything in my life. And at that point, I feel like no, I need to prove something to myself, not like to anyone else. I don't need like anyone else's approval. I feel like I can do this, and I feel like I love what I do. I love bodyfitted basics. I'm just gonna pursue it, and also I just want to become like I want to give back to society, as in like help people around me. And from that, it's just like do it, go. Just find ways, even though I absolutely no idea what to do.
You know, it's crazy with the bullying. I mean, it's just so sad why children or teenagers feel that
It's
they
a
need to behave
traumatizing
that way. But I've had, honestly, maybe 1 out of 2 of the women that I've interviewed, like, have bullying be part of their story, and then later on be the fuel to, like, pursue something and do it relentlessly. Yeah, so it's crazy how you can turn something that is very traumatic and difficult into the fuel and the catalyst to make things happen.
I have my support system. My husband's always like
Yeah.
there to support me. I feel like that is the most important thing. And then I mean, whatever it takes, he said, let's just do it. Because if you believe in it, let's just do it. Like,
That's amazing.
yeah, I mean, it's better you try and you fail rather than you don't try at all.
Yeah.
And then later on, when you're later on, you will say, I could have done that.
Regret.
You know, that
Yeah.
the
it's the
regret that
worst.
you wouldn't like. I
Yeah.
couldn't live with that.
Yeah, it's much better to try,
Yeah,
fail, or,
at least you said you tried.
exactly. And then maybe you can move on to something else, right? So you learn from that lesson,
Yeah.
and then you can apply it to the
Because
next
otherwise you
thing.
can only say what if.
Yeah, and you're stuck.
If yes.
You're just stuck in the what if.
Yeah.
So then you basically pursue your dream, and I really want to talk about the next steps, because not only you decide to start this business, but then you decide to move to a different country, a different city. Um,
That is bold.
the migration, immigration, regulation around it was such a hassle and a nightmare. And I really want to talk about this because I think it's becoming more and more difficult for people to move across countries. Like, there isn't one lunch or one dinner that I have where people are not talking about either their immigration or tax status at the moment. And it can be very discouraging to certain people.
Yes, it is.
So I want you to share this part of your story because it can be so motivating. So yeah, how did you make it happen and what was pushing you through it all?
I was like, when me and my husband was like sitting at night, I was just like, how crazy it was. Like, we were crazy. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know who to contact. We don't have any connection. We don't have friends. We don't have family. We don't know who to ask.
You had never lived here. You had never studied here.
I just need Google in my life.
Yeah, you're like, I'm moving to London.
I know.
I'm starting this business and I'm moving to London.
Like, without knowing what you will encounter or whatsoever, and then we don't know the people as well. So basically, just jumping out of a cliff.
Yeah.
It was crazy because I don't think we ever make it. Like, I thought we will like fail because I think that is impossible because most of the people who's actually moving abroad, they have already like a settled company here. So they're applying for a job, so they just apply visa.
Yeah.
In my case, I need to build the company first, make the sponsor license to eventually sponsor me here.
Yeah.
So people start from 0, I start from minus.
Yeah.
Minus to 0, 0 to 1.
And you're doing both at the same time.
I know. And I have to use this route, which is the visa that is very, very new at that year. Even when I took a medical checkup, there is no
Option to
there's no
tick
option to tick
Yeah.
because it's very new and nobody ever used it. I think I was the first. And then we had to go through the sponsor license, and it's a lot of paperwork. And I have to translate everything in English because everything is in Bahasa, obviously. And like that costs a lot of money as well, translation and everything. And we got a rejection letter twice.
Wow.
And I think then that 2 times, my husband said, after this, if they refuse or like reject, that's it. It's not for us.
And that's reasonable.
That's reasonable because we tried.
Yeah.
And then we applied again. We had to translate again the bank statement. Imagine the bank statement from 2019 until 2022. You need to translate it all in English, and with statement, all official, everything. Everything needs to be done according to the law.
Yeah.
And then I did that, and then finally during this, I was just like already feeling discouraged. Even that process,
It's lengthy,
it's
demanding.
it made you think like, okay, fine, I'm not gonna do
Yeah.
it. It's
Yeah.
too much. That is like the step that
Yeah.
perhaps
like a
people
big barrier.
exactly people will definitely decide, okay, this is not gonna work.
Yeah.
No, we're not even there yet. You already say no. But at the same time, I already worked with the marketing agency here to actually build the brand without even knowing whether or not you're gonna go or like
Yeah.
I don't know. We already spend money on like building the brand. The fact is we're that like really believed in the brand. Like I just need to like make it without even know that you're gonna get the reads. And finally I got it.
After how long?
Sobbed of like
Yeah.
1.5 years, I
Oh,
think.
wow.
It's insane how the waiting game is crazy. They said the fast is like 8 weeks and another 4 weeks and another 8 weeks. I feel like 8 weeks is there's a lot going on at 8
Yeah.
weeks, right? So I feel like it's just fly.
Wow.
I think
Patience,
it's
patience,
crazy.
belief. I mean, in a way, it also helps you practice some of the skills you need to
Yeah.
have as an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
right?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I know. And then it's just like finally when we got it, we're like, oh my God, yes.
But then that's just the beginning of the
That
challenge
is
as
the
well.
beginning.
You're then
That is
moving,
just me going here, not even launching the brand yet. That is another problem.
and you had a baby at
I
this
ha-
point.
I had once, I had
Yeah.
my son.
Everything was happening at the same time.
I know, it's insane. Even when I got invited to Indonesian embassy, they're all like, how did you get here again? Because
Yeah.
it's so difficult for like someone to build a business here.
Yeah. One question I wanted to ask, because when you told me this story and like before I heard it, you just seem so calm and soft and composed, and like what is something that people don't see or don't know about you? And I'm thinking, the behind the scenes
Mhm.
essence that essentially made all of this
Yeah.
come true.
I'm a very insecure girl. I'm
Hmm.
like always, every time I make a decision, I always like doubted myself. I feel like I'm gonna I don't make the right decision. I feel like tough on the outside, but I just can't like I just need to make way, basically. But at the same times, I'm that scaredy girl.
But has it changed now?
Now it's
Yep.
becoming like my confidence built up. On the second year, we had quite a lot of setback with the brand,
Mm-hmm.
but I do feel it made us stronger because me, in terms of like my confidence, it's like going up even more. But yeah, the learning curve is the first year, but now that everything is just coming to place.
Yeah, it's only the second year. I can't
I know.
believe it. Yeah, another challenge is that you're also running production remotely, right?
We have our own manufacturing house.
Tell me more about that. How do you ensure the quality, the values, also the culture stays intact when you're, I guess, miles
Yeah.
away?
I think you just need to be consistent and you can't be lazy.
Yeah.
I think you need to have a routine, specific routine that you need to follow every day. Like, for example, with time,
Yeah.
because the time difference in Indonesia, for example, now it's like 7 hours forward in Indonesia. So by the time I woke up like this morning, it's already like 11 or 12 back home. So I need to catch up with like messages. I can't just like, oh, I'm just gonna lay back first. If I do that, like I lose control.
Yeah.
But then I'm grateful that I have a team that is very communicative with me every day, like always telling me the update, and like we're very close. When I built this company, I feel like they're all my family because they're all really like with me side by side through like thick and thin. Because basically we're in one boat together. That's all I'm saying with my company.
Yeah,
All
it
have
sounds
to
like a
cut.
very supportive community of.
And they're all very loyal, they're all very nice, and we're very close since 2020. We built a relationship until today. They believe in the brand, they believe in the vision. I feel like that comes natural with like in the sense of like they want to talk to me because we are basically working side by side.
Yeah.
It's not like I put a hierarchy. I'm like, no, I'm your boss, you can't do this to me. But we are actually like we do the dirty work together. We're like basically
You're very involved. You're very hands-on.
involved, very hands-on. So whenever they had something maybe difficulty, they can talk to me and I do understand because I'm
Yeah.
also doing it before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before all of that, I am myself my own admin.
Yeah.
My sister was here with me today. She's also the social media since the first brand. It's only us three and my husband, which helped me in terms of like bookkeeping and all.
Yeah.
And I was the marketing, I was the product review, and like the customer service as well.
It's
But
actually very important to
yeah,
play these roles in the beginning of the
I
brand.
so I got the foundation and all,
Yeah.
and create a system, and eventually just pass it on to my employee, which is now I have like around 25 back home. I feel like the team is growing. I mean, yeah, in terms of like communication, I feel like it's natural, and it's always like on it every
Yeah.
day.
You have to be on it.
I know, call.
Yeah.
You just need to be like asking around because otherwise people get busy and sometimes they don't update you, but you just need to like, hey, what's going on?
You need to be present. You need to
Yes,
build.
yes.
Yeah.
And we always communicate, and we always like, for example, sending samples here, and like I have to like check it before it goes into production and all of that to make sure that everything is aligned.
So tell me more actually about the product itself. How did you then go from the idea that you had in your mind to the technical part to eventually creating the cut? What was that process?
Because I feel like the one that I mentioned, I feel like I kept buying a lot of like body fitted basic that I compile like every and compare, like I compare basically like,
Mm-hmm.
so what are the flow of this clothes, what are the flow of this clothes, and I just combine everything basically and like create into one fabric that gives not only a beautiful basics but also functionality.
Mm-hmm.
I do not like wearing bra myself, so I need something that is like secure and like an easy wear for you to not wear bra,
Yeah.
and like at the same time to make you feel like you're wearing a shapewear but it's so comfy.
Yeah.
So it's like, because everybody sells basics. Most of the brands, like big brands, like small brands, they all sell basics
Yeah.
as a side dish or
Yeah.
like
Yeah. As a secondary.
yeah, as a secondary
Exactly.
product. But I wanted to create a basics that is like built different, as in like with functionality, and we're specialized in it. So that's why Klayd exists. But you feel supported, you feel sculpted.
I
That's
think
all
that's really
Klayd is all
important.
about.
Yeah, you feel supported.
Yeah.
And it's also quite how can I say, what's the word?
Thick.
Sick.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you don't feel like, oh, I'm half naked.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It seems like it's there. We have single layer, we have double layer as well.
Fair.
The double layer is much more like on it. Like, so I'm wearing it now.
It has a bit of coverage, I'd
Yes,
say.
and then you can feel like more sculpted and hold your boobs in the right area. That's what we want.
That is what
Yeah, it's a purpose. So there's a lot of like built with purpose. Like we just tend to make this beautiful basics with functionality, so we can offer, like the basic elevated basics.
Yes.
Literally.
And I love the shades.
I know.
I love it. So Clay, does the name of the brand come from the idea of
Yes,
clay? Like
because clay like. So I wanted to be like, it's supposed to be like a clay like. I used to say, I used to say to my husband, I want it to be like Play-Doh, and then what is Play-Doh? And then my husband's like, it's clay. Oh,
clay.
Play-Doh. And it's like to mold, because I'm a mold. Then like mold in my body, and it's like buttery, buttery rock, and then it's just sculpted basically, and without crease, minimize crease. Yeah, we had quite a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
It's not an easy
It's not a easy
road
product.
to even get to one tank top that we are now saying that this is a size extra small. It has a lot of trial and error, sizing extra small to 4XL, because I have no idea what kind of sizing. I just literally just like, okay, let's just do sizing like this, and like based on like my body first, and then I trial to my sister, to my mom, and then I have to ask, oh, how do you feel? And all of my friends, I just need them to try it all.
You just get all the
Different
feedback,
type of body.
reiterate.
Yeah, because my goal is every size is people will feel the same.
Yeah.
Because that's how that's why
That's the
Clay
goal.
is that's the goal.
Yeah.
You will look good in every size, because we have size from extra small to 4XL, and everyone deserves to feel good.
Yeah. And it's crazy because I mean, I love a tank top. I have a million tank tops, different colors, different fabrics, and not two are the same.
Yeah.
They're all completely different. And you would think, oh, it's such an easy kind of piece of clothing, what can be so complicated about it? But the cut, the fabric, the shape, the sizing, Yeah, it just makes a huge difference.
Yes, it is make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Not like a simple basic, because people sometimes tend to think she just sell basics, literally just tank top and bodysuit, but no, it's tons of hard work.
No, it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah, because I really pay attention to detail. The strap,
Yeah.
the waistband, everything needs to be like very comfy.
Yeah.
The button and like the seam, the finishing.
And the closer something is to your body, like the more, like it just becomes more and more important, you know, how it stretches, how it holds, how it hugs.
Yeah, it needs to have something in it because we need to be different.
Yeah.
Because all people sells basically what makes you different.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
my price is a bit slightly higher than the usual basics. Then what makes you different?
Yeah.
That's the thing. We need to always push the USB of.
So one of the dresses especially is my favorite, and they're just so comfortable and flattering. And I think this is a common thing of clothes designed by women
Yeah.
for women. You want to be comfortable and confident, but it needs to be flattering,
Yes,
you know.
exactly.
Received a lot of compliments as well.
Really?
Yes. Even
That's what I want to hear.
but you know how you said you hired a marketing agency, and then when you started, you just managed so quickly to build a beautiful community of women here in London that were wearing your brand, and really, like, how did you, again, how did you make that happen?
I think I just connected with an amazing people that I worked with before, and then they opened up a door for me to actually meet these amazing people that is eventually becoming my friends and like genuinely really wants to see the brand grow.
Your friends, but also ambassadors of the brand.
Yeah. So basically, it's just from connection to connection, and then when we had quite a few activation. I mean, from the first year is every month we have an activation. So every month.
Every month?
Yes. So
That's a lot of
now
work.
every
Wow.
month we meet like different people, and then from there, I think on the second year, it's how you can maintain it yourself. And how do you even like approach them and like be confident to be like, okay, let's do something like to for this from these amazing people that I met basically from my first year. And from that it's just grow.
Yeah, I think, I mean, because are you a shy person?
I'm not a shy person.
You're not a shy person.
I'm an extrovert, but then
Oh.
with you in the new country, it made like a shy person because like English is my second language, right?
Yeah.
Then it's not like my first language. And when I first launched the brand, I had the gifting suite. I worked also with this amazing PR introduced me as well to a lot of amazing people. And then in that gifting suite, that is my chance to actually tell what is Klayd, why the brand exists, and how do you manufacture clothes. So I keep telling them stories over and over again, and from there I think it's just mouth to mouth. They genuinely love the product, and they said I never found a basic that is like very supportive and like sculpting, and it's thick even though it's single layer. It's hard to find, and it's a very affordable price.
Yeah.
So those type of like feedback, I feel like, oh my god, I explained it so well.
Yeah, I think this combination of having a really good product and then having your personality.
Product speaks as well.
Yeah, the product speaks for itself, but then you bring the human connection layer to the product, to the brand.
Because you know every inch of the product, you know exactly, because we literally side by side, me and my team are like making the product together in my manufacturing house. So it's beautiful how I can explain and like telling them the story, why the seam is like this, why I have this kind of like neckline. So everything, I just know it.
And you're so passionate about it.
And I'm so passionate. I feel like I've never tired telling the story. Like that gifting suite went from morning to night, I think to 6 p.m. And then we do it for like 2 days. And I just never stop talking. I feel like I'm on fire. Telling the story. This is Klayd. This
Charging.
it's like, it's amazing to see how this.
So I think that's the lesson, you know, if you want to start a brand, invest in creating an amazing product.
Yeah.
And then don't be shy.
And you need to be very passionate, because those challenges that you will face, if you're not passionate, you're just gonna give up. Because if I don't love what I do, I mean, now I wouldn't want to go to the warehouse like in this cold and the rain and like when the wind is like disgusting. I wouldn't want to do it if I don't love it.
Yeah.
Because at least I think first you need to love what you do and like be passionate about it. Because when it fails you, disappoint you, you will not gonna give up.
Because there will be setbacks. There will
always be challenges.
It's never the case that you don't have setbacks and challenges. So you need to face that.
I know, you need to really face that, and like if you are really passionate, you will find a way.
You'll find a way.
Like me, I don't know the way.
You found the ways.
Make a way.
Yeah, you make your way.
I just need to make it.
Yeah, when there is will, there is a way.
Exactly. That's
One of my favorite expressions. I do want to talk a little bit about the motherhood chapter.
Yeah.
Because now you have
Two.
children under
The other one's
Four.
was
Five.
turning 1.
Yeah,
The other one is
turned
7.
7. Okay. And so how did that shape the kind of founder and business owner that you wanted to be? But also, how do you navigate your identity, balancing the two?
Yeah. It's hard, but I do have the major support system, which is my husband. He's great. I mean, he's always there for me. He's helping me with the kids, obviously, and we have like teamwork together. So
I love that.
yeah, if I need him, if he needs me, we all like tag team.
Yeah. Choose your husbands wisely. Because honestly, there hasn't been one story with the amazing and incredible women that I speak to that didn't feature exactly the symptoms when, of course, they are married. Everyone says, thank God for my husband. I have such a support. And you want someone that is rooting for you, for your business, and like motivating you to pursue your ambitions. But you also need someone to actually be supportive and help you out with certain things.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Even we move here, it's difficult for him because he got other job as well, which is back home, but he managed everything remotely, so it's fine. But even moving here, it's hard for him. But then he really believe in like what we do together, what we build together ever since, and how it impact already to our company. Yeah, because we basically open a lot of opportunities like jobs for people back home in Indonesia. Yeah. So that's what we want. We want to give back to the society. Yeah. And that is more than a business for us. It's like basically we want to help people too. Yeah.
You're really doing something that you believe in, and you want it to also exactly create value for others.
Yeah.
And how do you, I don't know, do you sometimes feel the pressure of, am I more a mother than a founder? Like, is there sometimes a bit of an identity crisis?
Yeah. I mean, it's tricky because I have this business together with my husband. He's basically my partner. Yeah. I mean, it's tricky as well.
Co-founder and partner.
Personal life. And also we have sometimes never-ending talk business, even in like bed. But yeah, we had our own difficulty, but we survive.
Make it work.
It's hell of a life. It's difficult, but yeah, we just need to like keep show up for one another.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, like really showing up for one another.
For showing up.
I want to go back to something you mentioned earlier and just spend a little bit more time on this. And it's the actual mission behind the brand. Of course, you wanted to create these beautiful, elevated basics, and you wanted people to feel seen, confident, and comfortable. I think this is your mission, right?
Because I feel like through this brand, I just literally found my passion. And this brand came from my own personal problem, which is my insecurity. So I feel like I always turn into this type of like clothing, and I feel if it makes me feel strong, I do believe that it will make others feel strong, and not only for them to feel more confident, but also it makes you feel good. And I think through all of that, it's just like naturally built the brand.
Yeah. And there's just so much power in what we wear, and there's a huge psychology behind fashion, right? So I think you convey so much by wearing certain things, whether you want to be playful or whether you want to give off a certain vibe, or it's almost like you can adopt the energy of the outfit, and it lends you that energy. So
because you want something that is high quality but then affordable, not too much.
Yeah.
And that's why Klayd exists. Like you want to feel elevated, but you don't want to pay too much, as in like because it's just a basic like version.
Yeah.
So we came in that gap, as in like we are a high quality basics, very affordable.
And before that, I never really thought about it so much in terms of like actually buying and investing in good basics. And I think I was actually missing that in my wardrobe, because once you have those key pieces and timeless pieces, it's so easy to layer other things on top.
And you can start it. Basically, you can start from casual to semi-formal or like even formal. That just depends on how you start it.
And sometimes the missing piece in a wardrobe or in an outfit is having that one basic that allows you to wear that crazy jacket or those funky pants.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you're not going to put it with like
I know.
something that clashes.
I know, exactly. So it's balance out the outfit.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important for you to actually have a good basics like in your wardrobe.
Yeah.
And that's why we exist.
Yes. My other question to you is, well, as you know, the podcast is called Oh She Can Drive. So it's all about being, I guess, in the driver's seat of your life. And what does that mean to you today, being in the driver's seat of your own life?
I think to have control in like whatever that you are doing, especially in your personal life and also your business life. I think that's the most important thing, because if you don't have control and you let others take control, others are not going to understand what you want for the brand or also for you. Basically, you know exactly what you want, you know exactly why you're here.
Yeah.
You should be the one in control.
Yeah. So not getting distracted.
And because it has to do with confidence as well.
Yeah.
Because if you're not confident, if you're not too like passionate, if you're like doubting yourself, then you lose control. You're not in the driver's seat anymore, and you let others that you think might be better than you, although they're not, because they're not you, they don't know what you want.
Yeah.
And you let others take control of the seat, and then the vision and the mission are all gone. It's just diverting.
Yeah, it gets like just diluted.
Exactly. It's lost.
Yeah.
That's not what you want exactly.
Yeah, I like that. So especially being very confident in your decision making, which is like what I'm hearing. And it's so true, because when you're starting a business in the early days, everybody has opinions.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So
and it's difficult to actually, because you don't want to let other feel down, because you don't want to feel like you don't listen.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you need to also listen, but then you need to also think about yourself and like think that whether or not the opinion can be something for you.
Yeah.
And then you can decide.
I guess you need to listen to yourself as well. You know, you need to be able to like take in whatever people are saying, advice, consulting, opinions, whatever it is, feedback. But ultimately, you need to go back to you, the passion, the purpose, the mission.
Yeah.
And really know what you want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So what do you want to do? What's the future?
I guess now I never predicted anything or like expect anything, to be honest, because even to get here, I create my own way. Yeah. I don't know what to expect. I can't like, I want to have like big dreams, like expecting, as in like be wishful thinking, but then things are just unexpected,
unpredictable. You just don't know where the road is going to take you.
I just need to be better for tomorrow and like be ready for tomorrow, basically. And like
how do you do that?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm just manifesting myself sometimes.
But you're also very disciplined.
I am. I have my routine.
You have a very strict, rigorous, time-specific routine, I feel.
Yeah. I do that because otherwise I will not gonna be able to take time with my kids and also be able to show up in the meeting or looking glam anywhere else.
Yeah, and you always look glam. Always. I mean, your outfit. It's true. Like, this is what I love. Like, you were in the warehouse this morning, and I love that as well. So the brand you produce in Indonesia.
I produce it in Indonesia.
In a beautiful workshop with all these incredible women,
and men.
And men as well. Then you have the stock here in the UK.
Yeah.
Because you're focusing on the UK market, right?
Yeah.
And then you ship the orders. You make sure everything is shipped correctly. You go to the warehouse. Even your packaging, when I received it, I'm like, this is amazing. It's just like very eco-friendly. You can tell when something, good presentation. You can just tell when something is made with care and packaged with love. You're very involved. And this is what I love. You can be packing orders in the morning and then doing the most beautiful launch event in the evening. And I saw that you had your baby with you.
And now she's like she's my hip accessories. Basically, she wants to be with me all the time now.
I love that.
She's my belt.
The new accessory of the season.
She's in every picture. I'm like, okay.
You know, I'm starting to see this more and more, mothers that are founders with their baby in their arms. And I think a few years ago, definitely a few decades ago, you would never see that. It's like
It's a
you have,
different world.
it's a different world. Like before, it was almost like you have to hide the fact that you're a mother. The baby shouldn't come into the picture. You don't want to like give off this impression that's going to dissuade investors or dissuade and like now it's
It
it's
doesn't bother you.
changing.
Yeah.
No, it's the
It just
opposite.
depends on us, basically.
No, it's the opposite. It's inspiring, and it's so humane.
Yeah. It's
We're-
amazing to see, isn't it?
I love that. I
I
love
love
that.
that too.
Yeah.
I love even when I see female founder that is always involved their kids is also in terms of work, because we've got the privilege to actually we have time
Yeah.
with them. It's like how you manage your time. Yeah, that's a privilege.
Yeah. I'm interested because you have people that think, oh, I'd rather have a 9 to 5 job because then I know exactly the time that I can spend with my children. If I'm a female founder, I am stretched completely. Do you feel that being a founder gives you more freedom and independence?
Yeah.
Choose your time?
Yeah.
Okay.
But also there are certain risks that you have to face and like be responsible of it. I feel like I think in my early experience of like working, those experience shaped me to actually build my own company, because it's pretty scary. Like even with us going here, we're actually basically using our own saving
Yeah.
to get here, and it's kind of like risky. Whereas with business, sometimes it takes like years. But yeah, for us, I think it's just time.
I mean, they say the first 3 years are the most difficult.
I think so.
And they say, well, before they used to say this, that like it takes 6 years for a consumer brand to actually be fully established. You're doing it in a record time. And you're starting to see the efforts, the results of all of your efforts and hard work.
It's insane because all of my team are happy back home.
Yeah.
Basically, to see that it's them who makes the clothes.
Yeah.
It's crazy to see that a lot of it girl and like celebrities are like wearing them, and I'm like literally have to like send every images that customers sometimes tag us in Instagram. I just need to show them, look how beautiful the clothes that you made. It's like a big dream for us to actually seeing what we do and like worn by the people here internationally, and also like people with names, and we feel like it's such an honor.
Yeah.
And they're all like very, very happy to
They're
see
all like
that.
rooting for you.
I know beautiful girls wearing the clothes.
Yeah.
And I feel like their hard work is also like
I really love buying from independent brands, especially when I know that, behind this business, there's an actual person, an actual family, a whole other community of, women and men in a workshop creating this, because obviously there's the big brands, the high street ones, but ultimately you're just contributing to a big corporation.
Yeah.
When you're buying from those brands, so whenever I find a brand that's focused on a specific product, fully independent, family owned, doing something really well, it makes me happy because I'm like, okay, I need to buy this type of product.
Yeah.
And now I can do so and actually contribute towards something with an impact, like it's like shopping but for good.
Yeah. Speaking of the impact, because one of my employee has been with me ever since 2019. She's my first. So she's my first hire. Yeah, my first packet until now. She's an operational manager. This is how the business has impacted and why we think that we should bring globally. So she was my cleaner, my mother-in-law cleaner, basically. And I saw her, she's like very, very good in doing her job. I feel like she's smart. Like she can be more. She wants to learn. Because she has no background, same as me. So we both are like
Learning as a sin there. Like hard work ethic, ambition.
like growing, because we don't know what we're just literally just working side by side. And then now she's bright. She's like smarter than me. Without her, I mean, my Klayd production will definitely be messy without her.
Yeah.
I need to depend on her, and now she's my manager, the manager of the operational in Indonesia. Such a beautiful story, and that is like very impactful, and how they can now build houses for their family, and like how they can bring their friends to actually work together with her now
Yeah.
in my company, and to see that how impactful the business is.
Yeah.
That thing kept us going.
Yeah.
Whenever I want to give up, because I always feel like I'm so tired.
I can imagine.
I'm so tired, it's not working, but then we always remember like why we started, why we came here.
Yeah.
When I see my employer, I feel like because we were so close, that when I see them, their life change because of this business, I just want to keep on going. Country, sometimes people tend to get married young.
Yeah.
And because of her, all of her friends didn't get married young. She just pulled her friend, let's just work with me together. Let's just
Proper empowerment.
I know, right? Empower other people to just work with her, and like let's grow this fashion brand together. They all now become very like educated, and one of them can go to university.
They can invest in themselves.
Yes, they can. I feel like it's one of my goals. Yeah,
To keep doing this.
I know, it's one of like the best thing.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing all of that.
Thank you for having me.
And we're gonna do some fire questions.
Okay.
Okay, so first question. How many prototypes till the first real product?
Oh my God. I must say 10 to 20, a lot.
Okay, I would have thought more. It's not too bad. How long did that take?
It's from February, I think 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your first ever item designed and sold?
First ever item, spaghetti tank.
Spaghetti tank. Your go-to Klayd piece and how you style it?
Scoop long tank. I always rally with jeans, scoop long tank. So it's like scoop tank. Yeah, I love that.
And you style it with jeans?
Jeans.
How many trees planted so far?
I think it's around 6,000
Wow.
as of today.
Oh my God, that's incredible. Any new color shades coming up?
Not at the moment, but I have new collection already out.
Already out?
Yeah, already out.
Amazing. Start shopping, everyone.
Start now.